Well, good morning and good morning to all of you. It's really a great day for our city with this very important project. And I'm delighted to be joined by Assembly Member and our Mayor-elect, Todd Gloria, our City Council Member and Assembly Member-elect, Chris Ward, Chris McFadden, who is our Director of our city's Transportation and Stormwater Division, Andy Field, of course, who's the Director of the city's Park and Recreation Department, Roger Sholey and Robert Thiel with the Committee on the 100 of the 100, John Bolthouse and Sarah Evans of the Friends of Balboa Park, Sarah Beckman and Joyce Gaddis, of course, with the Balboa Park Conservancy, Peter Comiskey of the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, and Melissa Peterman and David Glanzer with Comic-Con, our great friends at Comic-Con. Today we are very excited, all of us, to officially open the Palisades Plaza. And where just a few months ago there was a cracked and crumbling parking lot, now we have this beautiful outdoor space for all San Diegans to enjoy. Doesn't it look great? And it's no secret. There's no secret. There are many other parts of Balboa Park that need our attention, that need repair, that need restoration. And that's why this project was so very important. And that's why last year I dedicated $9.3 million that had previously been set aside for the Plaza de Panama project to stay right here in Balboa Park. We put those dollars into our Regional Parks Fund. Of course, now we have many other projects that can get that attention and that support of this crown jewel of our park system, which is Balboa Park. The types of things we'll be looking at doing: bathrooms, roof repairs, landscaping, irrigation, and mobility and ADA improvements. And of course, this brand new plaza right here in the heart of the park. This project, as I think all of you know, reclaimed an asphalt parking lot to create a public square. And the improvements have included upgrading our San Diego trolley stop, planting trees, enhancing the landscape, of course, installing turf lawn areas, repaving the North Palisades parking lot, and upgrading sidewalk and pedestrian curb ramps to meet the Americans with Disability Act standards. I think one of the other great things is that all of this work was performed and completed with city employees from our Transportation and Stormwater and our Park and Recreation Department. It was really a project that they loved doing. I was talking to Andy and Chris. Our employees knew that they were working on a piece of history for San Diegans. They have seen what this plaza used to look like before, and to be a part of transforming it now for future San Diegans and families is something that they're very proud to be a part of. And I think that's a testament to their determination as well. Please join me in giving our city employees a round of applause for the great work that they did on this effort. I would also say, as I think probably all of us have recognized, that the importance of our parks has really never been more clear than during this global pandemic. A place to safely get outside and to interact. By restoring the Palisades to its original grandeur, we've turned what was literally a crumbling parking lot into San Diego's next great public space for San Diegans to enjoy at a time when they need it the most. The investments that we have made to improve parks across the city have resulted in more recreational opportunities, more available today than ever for San Diegans to enjoy. So this is a big part of that. And as I was just talking to Councilmember Ward, our Assemblymember-elect, and Roger Sholey a little bit earlier, as we have transformed this, this was a very important first step. And as I think many of you know, the ultimate view and vision, and one that I support that will require some future funding and dollars, but I know we'll have the support, is to restore those beautiful fountains that used to be such a part of this. And so that's why I think today was so important to say, here's what we can do, here's what we still need to do for next steps, again with one goal and one vision. How do we really create this and restore this jewel that we are also very, very proud of? Before I conclude, I want to thank our partners who've dedicated themselves to ensuring that this park receives the love and the support that it deserves. Our Balboa Park Committee, our Balboa Park Conservancy, the Friends of the Balboa Park, the Committee of 100, the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, and of course, all of our museum and business partners. We're going to turn it over to a few speakers here again in a second, but I would just say that as I was talking to David, as we look across the way and what Comic-Con is going to be doing, there is such a bright, vibrant future for this part of the park. It is very exciting. And with that, it is my pleasure to welcome our Mayor-elect, Todd Gloria, to say a few words. Todd, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My apologies for keeping you all waiting. I know it's warm, typical San Diego December, where it's balmy and you're sweating. Just acknowledge that I think Councilmember Ward could appreciate it's difficult this little period where you have two jobs at once and navigating the state legislative gig with the mayor-elect role. Chris is doing that as a council member and as Assemblymember-elect. I apologize. Never like to keep people waiting. My parents always raised me to be everywhere 15 minutes early. So know that my mother was nagging in my ear the entire way here, while simultaneously recognizing that it's not good for the mayor-elect to run any lights or disobey any stop signs, right? So again, my apologies for keeping you waiting. But let's be honest, this is a great day. Any day that you start in Balboa Park is a good day, right? We're ahead, we're already winning at that point. But to dedicate an incredible improvement to the park makes it particularly sweet. And I want to thank Mayor Faulconer and Councilmember Ward for their leadership in making this possible. And I recognize that there are many demands across the city, but even here in Balboa Park, where often we don't always see the progress that we want to see. To get this done in relatively record time and to have it turn out so spectacularly really is a testament to their leadership of the city and of Balboa Park over the last number of years. And gentlemen, I certainly applaud you, as well as our city staff, as was mentioned, Transportation, Stormwater, Park and Recreation, for doing this project. It is gorgeous. It is obviously a vast improvement, and it's an indication of what our city can do when we put our minds to it. And as the mayor said, this is really just a challenge to do more. And I think about particularly the context of this kind of improvement. Back when I was on the city council, anytime you talked about swapping out some parking spaces to turn it back to people, the knives came out, right? People were very, very concerned. And I understand that concern, but I would point to this being just another example of when we have made these alterations, they have been home runs for San Diego. And if you want to challenge me on that, I invite you to look up at the Plaza de Panama, where we had a few dozen parking spaces that has now been turned into almost the living room for Balboa Park, if you will. Think about the waterfront park that was once large parking lots around our county administration center that is now one of the most beautiful parts on our city's waterfront, our city's front porch. The Piazza della Familia, which was previously a city street that has been converted into a world-class piazza and gathering place for the community. And then as the mayor mentioned, all of this done in the context of a time where we need outdoor open spaces in order to safely congregate. You recognize why this is good for San Diego, this is good for our residents, and it's good for our community. And I hope that we can find more places to do that, not just down here in the civic core of San Diego, but throughout the community where increasingly people say, you know what, we live in the best climate on earth. Maybe we should enjoy it a bit more often. Maybe we should be outdoors a bit more often. Maybe we should reclaim places from cars and give them back to people. So this is an important day. And the last thing I just want to say is that as we look in Balboa Park, I know we have a lot of deferred maintenance. I know there are a lot of challenges. But what I also know is that every person in this city, all 1.3 million strong, love this park. And that is that love that we are going to harness to make sure that we have more great days like this one for Balboa Park. As I look across the way here, I see the expansion of our international cottages. I think about the money that Senator Tony Atkins and I were able to secure in the state budget to restore the Botanical Building. I think about so many more opportunities that are in the near-term future to signal to San Diegans that love they feel for this urban park is something that we're going to execute upon and actually deliver improvements. And probably the one I'm most excited about, although I don't have any favorites, I want to be very inclusive here, is the Comic-Con Museum that's coming soon. And I think about what that's going to do to invite a whole new group of San Diegans to come and enjoy the park. And, David, I want a whole lot more visitors because we know they pay taxes, tourist taxes that can help fund road repairs, library hours, and pay for public safety. But when that opens up in its full-fledged glory, I think you're going to see a transformative thing. And the next thing we've got to do is some of this safe starlight. We got to get some ornamentation back on the Automotive Museum. We got a long list of things to do. But San Diego can do anything that we put our minds to, and today's proof of that. I look forward to many more of these. And again, congratulations to city staff, to Mayor Faulconer, and to Councilmember Ward. This is a great day for Balboa Park.
Thank you, Mayor-elect Gloria. Well said. Next, please welcome City Council Member and Assemblymember-elect Chris Ward. Chris?
Great. Thank you, Mayor Faulconer, and good morning, everybody. It is really a pleasure here. It's a special pleasure for me to be here because this is my last press conference as the council member for District 3, and I couldn't think of a more fitting opportunity to see some of the hard work that we've been able to do to advocate and to support Balboa Park than to be able to celebrate this grand opening here of the restored Palisades Plaza. I'm going to do the starlight pause for 1 second. So we know that San Diego's cultural jewel here, Balboa Park, it is a regional, it's a national landmark. It's played a key role in the history and the culture of our city. It's a hub, it's educated thousands with programming, workshops, tours, and seminars. And it's got 16 museums performing a lot of multiple performing art venues, gardens, trails, and many other creative and recreational attractions, including, of course, the world-famous San Diego Zoo. The history of this area is rich, and it deserves our attention and restoration. The Palisades that we are here together this morning in particular have been long sought after opportunity for improvement from park advocates like the Committee of 100. And I want to particularly acknowledge two individuals that really laid the seed for me years ago. Vicky Estrada, renowned landscape architect and the mother of our update for the Balboa Park Master Plan, who also helped sketch this back in 1992. And is Mike Kelly with us this morning? Don't see Mike as well, who has been with the Committee of 100 for so many years. And I remember touring this area with him when I was a council member like 4 years ago and talking about the potential that's here in the Palisades quadrant. And that's what today's celebration is really about, the potential and the revitalization of what's going to be our new outdoor living area here for Balboa Park. As Mayor-elect Gloria had referenced, you go up to the Plaza de Panama and you've seen what that's been able to do to recapture that landscape there, to be able to actually make it useful for people where they can sit, where they can congregate, where they can listen to music, where they can enjoy food trucks. All of this possible, of course, because the Balboa Park Conservancy and the Friends of Balboa Park and so many of the others that are coming together to figure out how do we make the most activity, how do we make the most of what we have here in Balboa Park. As Mayor-elect Gloria had also referenced, you know, we have so many other opportunities that are coming up here in the Palisades section as well, with the Comic-Con Museum, with new murals that are coming to the Automotive Museum, of course, with the Keystone property that we have here, all the vitality that we have with the Air and Space Museum, and of course, a great partner organization in Safe Starlight that's going to think about what we can do over here at that corner. We actually, when this came about, because when council was thinking about what to do with the $9 million that was set aside from the Plaza de Panama project, we said we have to keep it here in the park. And thanks to some of the advocates that had been able to plant that seed for me, I wanted to make sure that we use this not just as a singular project, but as a catalyst for so much more. Because this is the foundation that we have that can bring in that fountain, that can bring in the people, that can bring in your kiosks, that can make sure that the future visitors that we have to all these great institutions that are around us are going to have a second living room concept here right in the middle of Balboa Park. So these are the kinds of public investments that the city is doing right and needs to do so much more of to make sure that we are making the most of all that Balboa Park has to offer. I want to thank so much my council colleagues for supporting me in that amendment to make sure that we are keeping this money here in the park and that we are investing in the infrastructure and the foundation that we need so that we can make Balboa Park all that it needs to be, all that it can be, all that it should be. As I end my term and I move on to from the San Diego City Council now on Monday to be inaugurated in the California State Assembly, it's not going to be lost to me at all that we have a key responsibility, knowing that this is a regional and even a national asset, to make sure that the state support is there, that we are continuing to make those kinds of investments here, and layered on top of the ongoing and dedicated revenue that we need to see as well from the city of San Diego. I continue to do my part to make sure that Balboa Park is given the resources that it deserves, because at the end of the day, it's what the people are going to be able to benefit from. We are so excited for today's grand opening, and we are so excited for what this is going to be able to build in the generation to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Chris McFadden, who is our director of the city's Transportation and Stormwater Division. And as I said, our city employees did such a remarkable job on this project. Chris, thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council Member, for really recognizing this a tremendous place today. And on behalf of all the employees for the Transportation and Stormwater Department, we want to welcome you to this beautiful location. It's with your encouragement and recognition that our teams continue to provide excellent customer service. We've also taken on extraordinary challenges throughout the pandemic, including this project, and always risen to the occasion. I want to really recognize the engineers, concrete finishers, electricians, the paving teams, and our financial team to really make this happen. We had more than 80 members on staff through our transportation department to really make this happen. And of course, really recognizing the vision that came before us and working with the Parks and Rec department, it was truly a team effort, as you see here today. One person I really want to point out and recognize is to my left, Edgar Puente. He's our senior civil engineer and street division. He was the person who designed this in-house and oversaw all of the crews and really was the person who made the construction happen. And I really want to thank him and his entire team for their support. And thank you for all the support, and I enjoy this definitely over the holiday weekend.
Last but certainly not least, I'd like to introduce Andy Field, who of course is our director of our city's Park and Rec department. Andy, come on up.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Faulconer. It's such a beautiful day in Balboa Park. What an awesome December 2nd this is. And we are so excited today to officially open the Palisades Plaza for public use. This has been an effort that's been underway through most of 2020. As many of you are aware, the construction for this began right around the same time the pandemic began, and we're hoping that maybe by opening it today, it can also end the pandemic. So we'll see if that happens.
I like that. Yeah.
It's really inspiring to see this portion of the park reactivated and transformed from a concrete parking lot to an area where families and friends can gather. This would not be possible without the cooperation of so many, both within the city and our partners here in the park. I want to especially take a moment to thank, again, Chris McFadden, Edgar Puente. They have been fabulous through this entire process, as well as Roy Kirby, who actually painted the Auto Museum here and did just a fantastic job of getting this area ready. And on staff for Parks and Recreation, I want to thank a limitless number of people within the department, but I want to especially call out Mike Tully and Christina Chadwick, their leadership of the Developed Regional Parks Division, as well as Dwayne Scarbick, Mario Llanos, all of our park rangers, landscape architect Charlie Daniels, and a variety of staff who work to do individual plantings to get everything just looking as spotless as possible in preparation for today's grand opening. I also want to mention that there's a special thanks that goes back to our elected officials with Mayor Faulconer and Councilmember Ward, who secured the funding to make this happen, and to see that funding move forward into other projects here in Balboa Park. All of the money that was in the Plaza de Panama project ended up here. We also have plans for reconstruction of multiple restrooms here in the park, and we have the Botanical Building project that was mentioned earlier with a large dollop of state funding. Thank you, Senator Atkins and Assemblymember Gloria for that, but also some city funding as well. And then there are the residents here in the plaza. We have the the Automotive Museum, the Museum of Air and Space, Starlight Bowl, Comic-Con Museum. Every one of the members of leadership teams for each of those institutions stepped up and were part of the team to make today happen. So I really want to say thank you for that. And with that, I also want to mention our partner organizations, the Friends of Balboa Park, the Balboa Park Conservancy, the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, and also the Committee of 100. And I would like to take a moment here to welcome Roger Sholey forward from the Committee of 100, where he has a special presentation for Mayor Faulconer today. So Roger?
Thank you, Andy. This, as everyone has been saying, this has been a 5-year effort on the part of the Committee of 100 with the support, incredible support from the mayor's office. This is a vision that went back more than 30 years, and it goes back to 1935, the Pan American Plaza, that we're now starting to restore back to pedestrian-only use. There's more to come. The Committee of 100 is about to start on the ornamentation restoration and the murals on the Auto Museum. We're going to move to the municipal gym to add the ornamentation there. And the Comic-Con will be a fantastic addition to the Palisades. And our hope is to go beyond this, to restore the North Palisades parking lot to pedestrian-only use, to add more parking where it's needed, add more activation. This is going to be a model for Balboa Park going forward. And we want to give the mayor's office a little token of our appreciation to be a permanent memory or memorial to this effort. So,
Is that it right there?
yes, so Mayor Faulconer and Mayor-elect
Come on in,
Todd, Gloria, come here, please. So this is a model of the grizzly bear that was on the top. There were two of them on the top of the building in 1935, and this is a model that we're giving to you to display in the mayor's office in perpetuity.
Well, terrific. Well, I will display this for a week, and then Todd will display it for another week. So here we go. Thank you. Come on in here, Roger. You come in the middle here. Thank you. Yeah. No, it's very nice. Thank you. There you go. It's terrific.
Awesome, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you. That's terrific.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you, Roger. Thank you for your leadership. For everybody, this park is beloved by San Diegans and actually people across the state and across the country. And so it is another important step today, as we said, and many, many more to come. With that, I want to thank you all for being out here on a very cold, wintry December day, as Mayor-elect just said. And all of us and each of us will be available to answer any questions one-on-one. Thank you all. Congratulations. Thank you, guys.